What's up, YouTube? It's Ask the Young One with CreateHigherVibrations.com. Today I wanted to do a quick video and talk a little bit about kind of staying on that energy track and talk a little bit about our environments and who we put ourselves around. A lot of times when we begin to awaken to things and when we begin to go through that experience and we really start doing our own self-reflecting and start realizing how our environments have been a big part of where we're at in life or who we're around in life. And a lot of our upbringing has a big part of the same type of people that we attract in life. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about that because a lot of people that I work with are kind of on the in-between. They're kind of sitting on the fence with people, and at some point you got to make a decision and you got to decide, you know, which direction you're going to go and where you're going to go with your life. Because when you're, you know, staying in loyalty because of time or because of how long you've known someone or because it's your parent or your brother or your sister or anyone that is going to keep you in a thought process that's down here rather than up here, you're really sacrificing your own growth, and you're really keeping yourself in a place that is going to really make things hard. You know, it's like our environment and the people we're around, and you know, can we blossom with these people, or are we gonna wilt like a flower? You know, it's like if you plant a flower surrounded by concrete, or you plant a flower and that soil is not tilled, if it's gonna wilt, it's gonna struggle, and it's gonna be fighting for it to bloom. But if you put that flower in some muddy water or in very good tilled, you know, maintained soil, it's gonna blossom. And we're the same way. We're the same thing. Like, it's this, our world, our perception, everything is the same way. And so I wanted to just touch base on some things, you know, especially when we're kind of in between and we got friends or whatever and we've known them for a long time. You know, what if you go out for drinks and then you're sitting around the table and the one friend that's not there is being gossiped about by everybody at the table? You know, those are very low vibrations, and those are going to keep us very stuck. It's going to keep us in judgment of other people, and those are all things that should tell us that while I'm gossiping about other people and I'm living in judgment of another person because they're not doing what I think they should do, then it's literally showing us our own denial within ourselves of where that's coming from. You know, if you sit around the table with people that gossip about everybody else, you can almost guarantee that as soon as you get up and walk away, they're probably going to gossip about you. And so it's a very low vibration. It's not a place that you're going to be able to bloom from or continue to grow. Sometimes we have to let these people go. Sometimes we outgrow them. Sometimes we just flat out decide this is not the life that I choose to have. This is not the environment that I want to be in, because it's going to keep me in this place. And so I think it's very important to discuss this stuff, to really become aware of, as you're trying to heal or grow, whatever the case may be, whatever you're trying to break free from, you really got to pay attention to what is surrounding you and what you're surrounding yourself with. And I'll talk a little bit about my own personal experience with this, especially recently, because, you know, it's like I've struggled a lot with actually believing completely within myself. Like, I've struggled with that because subconsciously, you know, that programming, I was raised around people that just struggle with that. They didn't believe in themselves, so therefore I inherited that burden of the same quality, of the same thing. And so we have to really begin to understand where these things are coming from and how we are presented with it and whether or not it's ours. And, you know, we have to worry about and own what is ours and what is mine, and not what is anyone else's, because a lot of people will try to take, and especially if you're doing your own inner work and you're trying to heal, And then you're surrounding yourself with these people that have such low thought processes that are down here, that are still boosting themselves off of judgment, gossip, and pointing out the flaws of other people and all these other things. Then you're really gonna struggle to get yourself up to maintain on a level of up here. And so I think it's important to put that out there. It's like, my own experience with it, just in this recent time, because of even all the work that I've done myself, and even though I can meditate and even though I can observe what I'm feeling, it's still, when you're surrounded with this type of energy every day or a lot, it's very it's very challenging to be able to maintain a high level when that is all you're around, or that is what you're seeing. And even though I believe in myself now, because I believe in this divine within me now, and this is my energy, not my ego, not my thoughts of my self concept. My self concept is the I am that is in me, and no one else has control over that. So therefore, I can do and be as I please without judgment, and I can take other people to that level without judgment. I can do these things, and that's, believing in yourself and believing in what you can do is very, very important, especially in this healing process, because you're going to learn things about yourself that before, because of living unconsciously and living in the autopilot of the unconscious and living in the self-concept of the ego, although feeling the self within, but still avoiding it and going in the ego direction because of society or because of other people or because of how we were taught, is very challenging. It's a very, very challenging process, and it's not an easy process. And so, that's just kind of a recent, it's one of my biggest things. It's one of the biggest things that's held me back in everything that I'm trying to do over the last 4 years. And then you come out of a toxic relationship, of course, their goal is to erode your belief in yourself. And so, you kind of get double hit with it, so it's really important to pay attention to the patterns of our life, the patterns of our environment, the patterns of the people that we're around. I'll talk a little bit more about what I mean too on patterns. Like, just because we were raised by certain people, if they flow in a judgment and a negative and a not believing in themselves, then that is the advice they're going to always throw back at you. And so you have to, again, pay attention. You don't ask people like that for advice. You ask or work with people that have overcame that. It's kind of like, another example for me. I was raised with this horrible belief systems about money, and that people like me don't deserve money. And so whenever I'm struggling with a belief or I'm struggling with something to do when it involves money, the last people I go to are the people that brought that belief on. They're the last people that I will ever, that you want, or I even, myself, whatever. It's the last place you want to go with it. You want to go to somebody that's already where you're at, whether it's money or whether it's awakening or whether it's a higher, we're all on this same path and we're all equal to things. We're just, some of us are a little more in awareness than others. And that's a good thing, because then we can rely on them to help us see ourselves from an unbiased place, and allow them, help us see what we're doing that's holding us up or keeping us stuck. So I wanted to just kind of touch on that again with the energy thing. It's like you're doing this work, and you're manifesting, or you're changing your entire focus, or you're reprogramming your subconscious, and you're becoming the observer of your ego. But then you go and you put yourself with people that you've known your whole life because you've known them your whole life, and they're still living in the protection of ego, and therefore flowing on very low vibrations, you know, through gossip, through toxic behavior, just talking about other people, or you know, you know, it's all like, you can tell, like you'll be able to tell when you're around these people, if you've been doing the work, the difference, and you'll be able to say, you know what, this is probably not a good environment for me. I want to blossom like a flower. I've been doing the work and my flower is shining bright. I don't want it to wilt. So I need to really be mindful about who I'm surrounding myself with and who I'm allowing the information to come from. And so it's just something to really pay attention to. I hope this video made sense, and I hope that it plants some seeds for people. You know, it's like in my own situation, you know, like, I don't know. To me, I now will go where I will blossom. I will go where I'm absolutely loved to the core of me, not loved because of an egoic need being met that I can meet for someone, you know, or conditions placed on it, or any other thing. I will absolutely not put myself in those situations ever again. And it's very, you know, like I said, you know, it's, if you're trying to do one thing, no matter whether it's heal or become an entrepreneur or whatever, you cannot surround yourself with people that are going to dim your light. And in this world, as much as we want to be the light and be consciousness and be aware and be love and spread our love, we have to see these people through the lens of compassion and love, but we do not have to accept what they're giving back to us. And we certainly don't have to accept that as ourself, because it's going to really make things a lot more challenging. So I wanted to share that message. I hope it made sense, and hopefully, you know, if anybody's stuck in this stuff and not realizing some things, you know, it's just that you're not there yet. You know, we don't get stuck. We're just not there in that moment, you know, yet. You know, there's something we're not seeing yet, and that's okay. So, you know, I wanted to share, and, you know, again, put it out there. And if anybody has any questions, you can email me, and hopefully this made sense. At least plant a seed, at least pay attention to your environment. You know, it's a beautiful thing to be able to be around people with the same goals, and you know, uplifting. And you do that by recognizing what no longer serves you in this world, and that includes people. And you have to take care of you first, and surround yourself with the people that you want to help take you to where you need to go. And the right people will do that for you. And it will come with no expectations. It will come from unconditional love. It will come from being your own cheerleader, or them cheering you because they want to see you happy. And so it's a very important thing to surround yourself with good, and surround yourself with what your vision is of you. You know, we're replacing and healing and programming a lot of things, and sometimes it goes at a rapid pace, and then other times it will slow down. And so I think it's just a very important thing to pay attention to. But I'll go for now, and thank you for watching, and please subscribe and share if any of this resonates with you. Thank you. Namaste.